Hello, good morning to all. Again, welcome back. Last class we have discussed about the system software and the application software. Today we are going to discuss about the utility software. So in utility software, there are the most basic types of software which provides high utility to the user and the system. These form the basic but daily need task. First is your antivirus software. This provides protection to the computer system from unwanted malware and viruses. For example, Quickle, McAfee, this one. Disk defragmenter tools. This helps the users to analyze the bad sector of the disk and rearrange the files in a proper order. Text editor. This helps the users to take regular notes and create basic text files. For example, Notepad and Reddit Extra. The main difference between system software and application software is that without system software, system cannot run. On the other hand, without applications or software, system always runs. Next is your compiler and interpreter. What is the function of the compiler in computing? A compiler is a computer program that translates computer code written in one programming language, that is source language, into another language to the target or machine language. The name compiler is primarily used for programs that translate source code from a high-level programming language to a low-level language. And that means low-level language means assembly or language, object code or machine code to create a executable program. But an interpreter is a program that translates a programming language into a comprehensible language, and it translates only one statement of the program at a time. Interpreters more often than not are similar than compiler. Next is your basically the interpreter. This language processor is also used to convert high-level language into machine-level language line by line. So thus execution time is very slow, but the detection of the error detection is easier compared to the compiler, and it records as soon as bug is caught and restarts the process. This consumes unnecessary memory, and programming languages like Python, Java uses the interpreter. Next is your what are the difference between the compiler and interpreter? Compiler scans the whole program in one go, but interpreter translates the program one statement at a time. As it means the code in one go, then the errors are shown at the end together. But interpreter, as it will be the interpreted line by line, so it is easy to detect the error. It contains the source code into object code. It does not convert source code into the object code. Instead, it scans it by line. Example of compiler: C, C++, C hash. These are the compilers. But Python, Java, Ruby, these are the interpreted language. Next is your 7 phases of compiler. What is the compiler and what are the phases? A compiler operates in phase. A phase is a logically interrelated operation that takes source program in one representation and produces output in another representation. The phase of compilers are shown below. Next is your basically compiler is a special type of computer program that translates a human readable text files into a form that the computer can more easily understand. At its most basic level, a computer can only understand two things as 1 and 0. At this level, a human will operate very slowly and find the information contained in the long string of 1 and 0s incomprehensible. A compiler is a computer program that bridges this gap. A compiler is a special program that processes statements written in a particular programming language and turns then into the machine language or code that a computer processor uses. The output of the compilation has been cancelled object code or sometimes an object module. The object code is machine code that the processor can process or execute one instruction at a time. Or you can simply state it. A compiler is a program that reads a program written in one language, the source language, and translates it into an equivalent program in another language, the target language. As an important part of this translation process, the compiler reports to its user the presence of errors in the source program. So, source program, compiler, target program, error message, this one. So, like interpreter, the main what are the advantages of interpreter over compiler is that a syntax error in the program statement is detected and brought to the attention of the programmer as soon as the program statement is interpreted. Therefore, interpreters make it easier and faster to correct the program. The main disadvantage of interpreter over compiler is that they are slower than compilers when running a finished program. So, next is what are the 7 phases of compiler. The different phases a compiler operating phase. A compiler is composed of several components also called phase, each performing one specific task. Each of these components perform at a slightly higher language level than the previous, and the intermediate output in a multi-stage compiler is usually called pseudocode. Since it is not usable by the computer, pseudocode is very structured. Like a computer program, not free-flowing and verbose like a more natural language. The final output is called the executable file, since it is what is actually executed or run by the compiler. So, there are 2 phases of compilation, synthesis and the analysis. In synthesis, machine dependent language or machine dependent or language independent. Analysis, machine independent but language dependent. Phase 1 is your analysis phase. Analysis constructs the intermediate representation from the source program. Analysis can be done in 3 phases: lexical analysis, syntax analysis, and the semantic analysis. In lexical analysis, lexical analyzer reads the stream of characters making up the source program and groups the characters into meaningful sequence called lexeme. For each lexeme, the lexical analyzer produces a token of the form that it passes on to the subsequent page. Right. So, this the lexical analysis or It is done by lexical analyzer. So for today's class this much, and for next we are going to discuss the 7 phases of compiler. Thank you.